Hello again, this is Joe from HomeStudioCorner.com. Got a weird little production trick to add to your bag of tricks. Something that can be kind of cool, as if you want to feel like you're going crazy in a mix, this is a cool way to do it. So this is a project, something I produced a couple years ago for a friend of mine, Whitney Winkler. And there was a part in the song where she sings this line here. So she says, but what would we even talk about? And then there's this instrumental break of a couple bars, and then she starts to sing kind of the next verse. So it's kind of this lull in the song. It's an interesting spot, and here's what that sounds like. So there's several musically interesting things happening. The guitar plays a little riff, the organ does a little something different, and the fiddle plays in a couple spots too. But it was something I wanted something else there. And since the lyric she sings is what would we even talk about, it's kind of this idea of these two people meeting that have nothing in common, kind of the Prince and the Pauper sort of idea. And so the idea of like they wouldn't have much to talk about. They don't have much in common. So at the time, when I recorded this, when I was working on this album, I was using Google Voice for my voicemail. I don't use it anymore, but at the time I did. And one of the cool things it would let you do is you could actually download an MP3 of a voicemail and could literally download this MP3. I don't know why you would want to. But what I did is the artist, Whitney, had called and left a message about getting together to work on the music and different stuff with the songs. And so I took the voicemail and chopped it up into 4 pieces that were about the length of this section of the song, and then just moved them around until they're all talking together and panned them hard left and right to basically create this sound of as if there were voices in your head. And so this is kind of what I came up with.
And thank you for being willing. I hope we can do that. Anyway, I still want.
Okay, so those aren't panned because I've got this in mono. This is actually, we're mixing this next month on Dueling Mixes, and I have not mixed it. I've just set some basic levels. So this is more of what it would have sounded like.
And thank you for being willing. I hope we can do that. Anyway, I still want. It'd be really fun to come down.
So you can't really follow what's being said. It just sounds kind of crazy, and then obviously with the music playing, it's just this kind of voices in the background. So with the line, what would we even talk about? And then you hear these voices coming in and out. And you could affect those, maybe put them through, use some EQ to make them sound even more lo-fi off in the distance. You could do lots of things. And it just adds something that's very subtle, but kind of a neat, interesting production thing for a song. So I don't know if you'll ever have a song that has those exact lyrics in it. Probably not. But perhaps you've got voicemails on your phone that are interesting. Or maybe you could plug in an 1/8" cable from your phone to your audio interface, record those to your system, and maybe toss them around and throw them into this, weird conglomeration of a bunch of parts that you're panning all to the left and right. You can't really understand what any of them is saying, but they kind of create this feeling like you're going crazy. And being that it's a voicemail, it kind of already has some of that lo-fi sound to it anyway, and then add it into a mix and just barely enough to hear to the point where you say, hey, was somebody talking right there? That's weird. I remember there are several songs where I've heard some sort of whispering in the background and things that I never know exactly what's being said, but it just adds to this mystery of the song. So something to add to, you may be able to find a song you're working on right now that needs some sort of interesting, just a little something extra. It's non-musical at all. It's more from a creative production standpoint, but it can be really cool. So let me play you the finished product. This is the final album, or EP rather, and I'll play you a little bit before that part comes in. And listen to how the voicemail is very, very down in the mix. If you weren't listening for it, you may not hear it initially until you listen more critically. But anyway, here it is. Take a listen.
I've seen him from my balcony, brush past him on the street, but what would we even talk about? I wish I knew the feel of linen sheets or cold marble.
So anyway, there you have it. Just a little tickle of make you feel like you're going a little crazy in your ears. Make your listeners feel like they're going crazy. They'll thank you for it. Anyway, thanks again. I'm Joe from HomeStudioCorner.com. Thanks for watching, and see you in next week's video. Bye.